Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Snowback. Today we are going to do Unit 5 Notes 4, and we're going to start with the triangle proportionality theorem. And what it says is this: if you have a line that is parallel to one side of a triangle and it intersects the other two sides of the triangle, so like this over here, OI is parallel to GN, and OI intersects side BG and side BN. So you can see like right here and right here, it intersects those sides. If that happens, it divides the segments, or the sides of the triangle, I should say, into segments that are proportional lengths. So let me write this out. If OI, segment OI, is parallel to segment GN, then the distance from B to O divided by the distance from O to G should be equal to the distance from B to I divided by the distance from I to N. And in other words, those sides are proportional. The converse of this is also true. If the segments in the sides are proportional, then the lines must be parallel. Let's go to an example. I think it will make more sense. Number 1. In triangle PQR, ST is parallel to RQ. So you can see the little red arrows there, meaning those two segments are parallel. From P to T is 7.5. So I'm going to put that on there, 7.5. From T to Q is 3. SR is 2.5. And we are supposed to find PS. I'm just going to call it X. So we can set up a proportion. Because ST is parallel to RQ, I can set up a proportion that goes like this. X over 2.5, if I divide those, will be equal to 7.5 over 3. Now, how do we solve something like that? You guys have been doing this for a few days now. We're going to cross multiply. And when we cross multiply, we'll get 3 times x, and we'll get 2.5 times 7.5, which is 18.75. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 6.25, which means PS equals 6.25. And they don't have a label, so we don't have to worry about a label either. Great. Will you pause the video and try number 2? So if you did it correctly, you should go 20 over x equals 18 over 9. Cross multiply. So we get 18x equals 180 because 9 times 20 is 180. Divide by 18, x equals 10. And then the third one here, the only trick to this is you need this missing length down here. And so we can find that. So all you have to do is 8 take away 5. And you wind up with 3. So this distance down here is 3 because 5 plus 3 has to equal the 8. So when I set this one up, I'm going to go x over 2 equals 5 over 3. Cross multiply. We get 3x equals 10. Divide by 3. And you can either leave it 10/3 or it's equal to 3.3 repeating. The next thing we're going to talk about is a midsegment in a triangle. If you remember correctly, when we learned about trapezoids, we talked about midsegments. If you find the middle of one of the legs and connect it to the middle of the other leg, that segment ends up being the midsegment. And that's in a trapezoid. So it's very similar in a triangle. You find the middle of one side, so these would be equal. Connect it to the middle of another side, and that gives you the midsegment. So a segment with endpoints that are midpoints of two sides of a triangle are a midsegment. Now, every triangle will actually have 3 midsegments. Imagine if I find the middle of this third side down here and connect it, that's a midsegment. And then this third one, I'll make it green, that's also a midsegment. So there's 3 midsegments, the blue, the red, and the green. They're connecting midpoints of sides of the triangle. So the triangle midsegment theorem says this: a midsegment of a triangle is parallel to one side of the triangle. So again, find the middle of a side, connect it to the middle of a side. This is the midsegment. And according to our theorem here, they will be parallel, the mid-segment and the side it's parallel to, and its length is 1/2 of that side. So let's put some letters on here. Let's just go A, B, C, D, E. Go ahead and label that around the triangle. And so EB, the distance from E to B, is going to be equal to DC divided by 2, or half of the side it's parallel to. Let's try number 4. In the figure, XY and YZ are mid-segments of triangle RST. Find each measure. So they want us to start by finding XZ. Well, you can see XZ, I've highlighted it there in pink. It's a mid-segment. It tells us that up here. And so it must be parallel to RT. And if those are the two that are parallel, then XZ should be half of RT. So when we write this out, I think we're just going to take that 13 and divide it by 2. This distance down here is 13. This distance should be half because it's its mid-segment. So 6.5, and there is no label. We'll just leave it 6.5. Will you guys pause the video and try part B? So this time we're trying to find ST. I'll highlight it in green over here. Now remember, XY is a mid-segment. It told us that up here. And so notice how XY is 7. Well, it should be half of ST. So to find ST, all we have to do is take the 7 and double it. So ST would be 14. Last but not least, part C, find the measure of angle RYX. Angle RYX, let me just erase some of my stuff here. So angle RYX is right here. RYX, it's right in there. Now remember, this is parallel to this. XZ is parallel to RT. This cuts through like a transversal. And so the 124 and this angle down here, they will be congruent. So if we want to find angle RYX, it should just be 124. And why is that? Well, it's because they were alternate interior angles. Remember, if your lines are parallel and the transversal cuts through, alternate interiors will be congruent. So think about everything you've learned in this video so far, and I want you to pause the video and see if you can do parts A and B. When you're done, then go ahead and unpause. For part A, we need to find X. So one of the things I notice is X is right here and X is right here. Up at the top it says IJ is a mid-segment, and so J must be at the midpoint between F and H. So to find X, I can do 2X plus 5 must be equal to 5X minus 7, because if that is the midpoint of that segment, these two would be congruent. So then of course just do your algebra, add your 7. So 12 equals 3x and x equals 4. To find y, I notice that we're dealing with the mid-segment. So right here I see a y, and then right here I see a y. So the mid-segment, the I to j, should be half as much as g to h. So when I write this out, I'll just go down below here, it would take 2 of the 5y plus 1s to equal 8y plus 6. This is one way you could set it up. Another way you could set it up is you could do 5y plus 1 equals 8y plus 6 divided by 2. You just have to make sure you divide both parts by 2 if you do it that way. So I'm going to stick with my first setup, and I'm going to distribute. So distribute the 2, so I get 10y plus 2 equals 8y plus 6. Again, continue the algebra. and you should get y equals 2. And we got the first part of the question. Part B. Let's label what we know. We know angle F is 50. So I'm going to go up here and put a little 50. That's right in this angle up here. And angle H is 30. So down here, this is going to be 30. And I have to find angle JIF, which is over here. If I trace J to I to F, that angle over there is what I'm looking for. So something to remember is my green highlights are parallel. So this is parallel to this. And then this, FH, cuts through like a transversal. So what happens is angle H and angle IJF, they are corresponding angles. And if the lines are parallel, they will be the same. So I can say this angle and this angle are both 30. Again, it's because of corresponding angles. And now you have a triangle. So you can see your triangle. This is 50, this is 30, and this is the corner you're looking for. Angles always add up to 180 in a triangle. So 180 minus 50 minus 30 leaves 100 degrees. And so angle JIF must be 100 degrees. That's it for 5-4. So will you guys please try Unit 5, Practice 4? If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day.